Thank you, thank you. Wine to the people.
Hi everybody, Keith, East Village Wine Geek here, and we are now going to get into the meat of Roussillon. Last week I just did a whole overview of the area. The whole area. When I say the whole area, I'm talking about a very small place in the world that makes really amazing wine. And it's just now being regulated more intensely than ever before, and I believe that we're going to start seeing more wines from this area on the American market. So I kind of want to give you guys a little crash course on all these different areas. So when we're talking about the Roussillon, we have to start with Cote Du Roussillon. I mentioned in the last video that it was given its appellation status in 1977. What happened was, for a long time, the winemakers in this area were just doing whatever they wanted to do, but the prestige of the area was not being recognized. So in 1977, they gave it an appellation called Cote Du Roussillon. This is the largest appellation in the Roussillon area, and it's the least restrictive, meaning that they allow a lot of leniency in the winemaking so that we can have a large amount of it on the American market at a good price so that we can start recognizing this area. But what we're trying to do here is we're trying to allow these individual farmers, individual wine growers, give them a chance to identify with themselves as an individual so they can compete with all the other wines in the area. I'm about to get into how this area breaks down as far as rules are concerned, with wine percentages and grape percentages and blend percentages. It's gonna get a little confusing, but bear with me. I'm gonna try to make this as easy as possible. In the Roussillon, we are deep in the hills of the Pyrenees. Even though the Cote du Roussillon is the largest area within the Roussillon area, the AOC surrounds this topography of all these hills. The soil compositions and the altitudes of these areas are so variant that it's very hard to kind of like get it all sectioned out and say, oh, well, this area does this and this area does that. So I'm just going to talk about the general area and the grapes that are made there, and then we're going to talk about white wines, because this is the area where white wine gets very exciting in southern France. In the Cote du Roussillon, the dominant grape, when we're talking about red wine, is Grenache. As we've talked about before, Carignan was there forever, and for a long time, the Languedoc-Roussillon in general made a lot of Carignan, and it was very astringent and very hard to drink, which really didn't do well on other markets. So it's at a certain point they started entering these improving varietals, which I've talked about before, to kind of blend in with the Carignan and give it some structure and some complexity. When the government stepped in to make this AOC the Cote du Roussillon, they pretty much took Carignan and put it on the back burner and said, you know what, Grenache is going to be the dominant varietal for the red wines. And this is how they break it down. This is the list of grapes: Grenache Noir, Carignan, Cinsault, Syrah, and Mourvedre. This is the list of red varietals used in the Cote du Roussillon blends. They also allow one white grape into this list called Macabeo, and we're going to talk more about that when we talk about the white wines. With that list of grapes, this is how they need to make their blends. A blend needs to be made up of at least 3 of that list. And the total of the 2 main grapes within that 3 need to be at least 90% of the blend. But to make it even more confusing, within that idea, you cannot use more than 60% of Carignan. What they're trying to do is they're trying to get Carignan kind of on the back burner. So they're making these blends with all these pretty amazing varietals with these weird kind of in-depth laws. Now you get to put at least 10% of a white wine in that whole mix. That's pretty fun. And if a winemaker is worth their salt, it could be a really fun blend. But maybe now you're kind of seeing how when the government stepped in and gave them all these rules, they're like, wait a second, we want to be prestigious and we want to create a tradition, but this is a little intense. But the cool thing is, the result has been really great wines in the American market. Now for the white wines. Just a little thing about the white wines of this area. We're in the Pyrenees. It's the sunniest place in France. White wine grapes do a wonderful job of ripening in this area. Cool nights, sunny days. The varietals themselves have these inherent high levels of acidity, and they're very aromatic. and they make very expressive white wines. They're beautiful. They're great for just chilling out on a rooftop or bringing to a dinner party. They're great with food or great for chilling. And this is where Southern French white wine gets very exciting. But again, the rules are a little bit crazy. Bear with me. The white grapes are these: Malvasia, also known as Malvasia in Italy, Marsanne, Roussanne, Macabeo, and a grape called Vermentino, which is well known in Sardinia in Italy and also in Tuscany, but down in the southern part of France they call it Rolle, R-O-L-L-E. And let us not forget the backbone of all Roussillon white wine blends, Grenache Blanc. Grenache Blanc, everybody, thank you. Grenache Blanc, all right. So you have a list of very expressive grapes that grow very well in this hilly little area. But the rules get crazy. Check this out. Grenache Blanc, Malvasia, and Macabeo must make up at least 50% of the blend. But as of 2006, the other grapes, Marsanne, Roussanne, and Vermentino, or Rolle, needs to make up at least 20% of the blend. So 70% of the blend is pretty exciting. There's a lot of different aromatics and a lot of different things going on there. And then they can have that little window to kind of create their own identity. So that's the general rule of Cote Du Roussillon. And in the following weeks, we're going to get into even more little places. Like I said before, there are 8 appellations in the Roussillon, and this is the largest one. Join us next time as we explore the little sub-appellation within the Cote du Roussillon, Cote du Roussillon Village. See you next time.